Sports Mix. Yeah, you in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny, news and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in, a lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. Plus he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, you rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
It is the sports mix. Big Kenny in the building. Got my guy
Yes,
Dino with me. What's up,
Absolutely.
brother?
I'm in here.
All right. So before we get into it tonight, couple of sad notes. Learned today that Syracuse Orangeman all-time leading scorer. One time was the Big East all-time leading scorer. DC guy, Lawrence Moulton, passed away. And no details on what the cause was, not even important. But I just want to send condolences out to Lawrence Moulton, his family, the DC family, Syracuse family, the basketball family. He's a hell of a ball player. Just want to send condolences out to him. Dedicate the show to Lawrence tonight. He one of my dedications. The other guy, who I do not have a photo of, but he's a Baltimore guy. I knew him pretty well. Met him way back in the 80s. Played basketball up at St. Paul's High School. Was the player of the year in the metro area 1990. Went on to play basketball at Cornell University. I believe he played a little bit of pro ball. My guy Zeke Marshall passed away. He had a battle with cancer that he lost this past weekend. So I want to send condolences out to Zeke's family, and he's also a big part of the Baltimore basketball community. Just want to give condolences out to all whose lives he touched in any way, and dedicate the show to him as well. So rest in peace to Lawrence Moulton, and rest in peace to Zeke Marshall. Two really great basketball players, man. And I know Zeke personally, great guy. Great guy. So just RIP to them. So that's how we started off the night. Just to get that out the way. We know why we're here. We know why we're here. We don't duck the smoke. Because there is smoke to be had.
And a lot of it.
There is smoke to be had.
Yeah.
And I told y'all, man, I don't run from it. I talk trash with everybody, but I do not run from it. When it's bad, I'm gonna be here. Now, just forewarn everybody, I'm gonna be out of town next week, so I'm not having the show. So if it's bad next week, I'm not ducking. I'm just out of town. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here today. A little later than usual, but we're here. And yeah, we didn't even get to really bounce around in the pregame, but so all opinions and takes are gonna be fresh. Coach Dean haven't heard my takes, and I haven't heard any of his. So, we talked about this last week. 1-2, both teams 1-2. Somebody was coming out of this thing 1-3, and unfortunately, it was the guys that play on Russell Street. You know, uh, and it was ugly. I didn't see much positive in that game. You know, I can't think of. I'm sure when you're a coach and you look at the whole game, and you look at the field, you probably saw something. But from a fan perspective, it got bad quick. It got bad quick, and this may be the first time I didn't even finish watching the game. I, I about midway through the third quarter, I had to make a store run. I said, you know what? I don't need me wait until the game over with. I'm gonna go ahead, make my run now, and by the time I got back, it was fourth quarter. They had scored again by the time I got back. The backup was in. Matter of fact, the backup was in before I left. So it was right at the end of the third quarter when he came in. I said, "Let me go to the store."
Yeah.
Watching the rest of this crap, but we all saw it. We saw the outcome, and
Mm.
I'm gonna let you start. This what,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts there?
Yeah. I mean, I agree, man. Ain't really a whole lot of good things that came out of this game. Um, the only really, man, the only things that came out of this game that might have been kind of good was they brought that young undrafted free agent in, cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't even remember his name, man, but he was making some nice tackles. He was around the ball a little bit when he came in the game. I guess he came in, Wiggins went down, Humphreys went down, so they had to go kind of deep into the bench. And then Justice Hill had a nice run.
Mm-hmm.
I think he broke off a 70-something yard run. Showed some explosive, showed some speed there. But the story of the game again, the defense inability to stop the opposing offense. Um, I mean, it's been the same thing. Also, the offensive line unable to protect Lamar. A lot of pressure on Lamar. Um, and we've been through the defense starting out slow last year,
Mm-hmm.
but while the defense had started out slow, um, the offense was, was clicking a little bit there, last year. But man, I mean, right now, you're looking at the defense being one of the worst in the league. Obviously, we were putting up a lot of points, but in this past game, the offense, man, was poor. And now with all the pressure on Lamar, and these teams coming out with this copycat thing that Detroit did against us. Um, I mean, things aren't looking good, man. That's the bottom line. It's not looking good. And when you throw in Lamar's hamstring injury, if you throw in Roquan being out, Wiggins, Humphreys, Stanley, I mean, where does this thing stop, man? Matabike, I don't know where Van Noy is. Maybe he's close. I saw um, the tight end, number 80, out there, but he definitely wasn't back to being prime time.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, this is some bad. This is a bad situation for these Ravens. Um, it's a drastic difference from the expectations of coming into this season thinking we were seriously a prime Super Bowl candidate. Many people across the football world had the Ravens as favorite to go to the Super Bowl. But
Mm-hmm.
now, with all of these injuries. I don't know what the latest is on Lamar, um, um, but man, things are just not looking good. And Ravens' depth is severely going to be tested coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the reality is, man, is that at 1-3, with all the injuries, with all the issues on defense, man, I mean, it's looking pretty bleak. Where, even as far as last week goes, I was concerned because Detroit, I know the score said 38-30, but man, that was total domination. And here we go again. Now the score here was 37-20, but the domination was worse than what the score was again. It ain't looking good, man. It ain't looking good, and and I don't know what quarter that was. I think that might have been the second quarter. You said I'm just gonna say it right now. This is not a good football team.
Nah. Well, let me add insult to injury. I'm looking at this injury report. Lamar Jackson is doubtful with the hamstring, likely to miss Sunday's game against the Texans and could be out up to 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh man.
Roquan Smith is doubtful. Van Noy is questionable. Patrick Ricard is questionable. Travis Jones is questionable.
Yeah, I forgot about him being out. Wow.
Marlon Humphrey is doubtful. And I know in basketball he got a calf injury. Them calf injuries have led to them Achilles.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if it's the same for football players, but so Humphrey is doubtful. Nate Wiggins is questionable. Stanley is questionable. Yeah, it ain't looking good.
No,
ain't looking good. And health is one of the big things, the big factors with any team. If you can remain healthy, your chances are a little better. But once you starting to have health problems, especially with key components, major players on these teams, is you just set up for failure. You know what I'm saying? You set up for failure, man. And whoo, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. I told you, I'm a 4-week guy. I like Nicole, how you doing? All right, I got my comments are working this week. That's good. Nicole, how you doing? So I've been saying it since the beginning. I always wait 4 weeks to kind of give my assessment where I think the team will be, how I think the team will roll
Look like
throughout
we're
the
having a
season.
little technical difficulties. I'm not sure if I'm still coming through, but it looked like
Yeah, I can hear you.
Buffering going on. You back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. It was some buffering going on with you. Your picture went out and I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, you spoke to Nicole. That was the last thing we heard.
Yeah. So I'm a 4-week guy. Always, I always say, I like to wait the 4 weeks to kind of give my assessment. What I think is how it's gonna play out. And we you say it was the second quarter when I text you?
I think it was the second quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not real good. They're not real good, man. And like I said 2 weeks ago, it started with the linemen, offense and defensive line. I don't know. I remember getting to Mahomes one time. I remember we sacked him once.
Yeah.
I remember, and that was the game was kind of out of hand at that point.
Yeah,
Not to
Robinson
say it
got
was
him. I
usually.
think that
Yeah,
was Tavius. Yeah.
yeah. So that's not good. We haven't been putting pressure on any quarterbacks all season, which, like I said, it leaves your secondary exposed. Not because they can't cover, but you can't cover. You can't expect them to cover for 5, 10, 15 seconds. And I know plays not taking that long, but you can't expect them to cover for that extended amount of time. When you got quarterbacks that they're not getting pressure, they're able to kind of sit back there and kind of let things play out. You know, Another thing is defensively, they're not getting off the field. You know what I'm saying? Third downs and long, and they getting beat. Fourth down, teams is going for it now. Like, man, we going for it. The Ravens is just not a good defensive team, and I think it starts with the defensive linemen. The defensive linemen are the anchor of the team. And then when you go to the second level with the linebackers, you know, some of the tackling or attempts at tackles I saw were just pathetic, pathetic. And you know what it looked like to me? It looked like dudes is almost saying, what the hell with it. You know what I'm saying? It just almost looked like the body language, like the attempts at tackles look just almost like, let me just look like I'm trying to get them. You know, it just it's just bad. It's just bad. And there's no way to make it pretty. There's no way to pretty this thing up. You know, the offensive line is horrible, horrible. They're not getting any push. You know, uh, and I hear people talking about, you got to run Derrick Henry. He not getting enough touches. I say this. I say it all the time. The game is going to dictate the play call. You know what I'm saying? The way the game is going is dictate the play call. If you come into a game and you just look at the end of a game, if you just look at, well, Derrick Henry didn't get but X amount of carries, then you tell me you didn't watch the whole game. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to. The game is going to dictate the play call, and the play call is coming from the coaching. And we talked about coaching, right? Coaching is 50-50. You either gonna make the right play or you're not. Or you will call the right play or you're not. You know what I'm saying? And I hear people all, they saying, well, we being out coached. We being outsmarted, this, that, and the other. We are getting outplayed for sure. And I think the players have a lot more to do with the failures than the coaching. Now the coaching gonna take some blame, but I think the players got to make plays. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. The players are the ones that are making the money. When you're on the field, you have to make plays. It's bottom line, man. You have to make plays. And again, in Baltimore, we had this thing with the Ravens where it was always next man up, next man up, next man. If you're on the field, if you wanted the 11 on the field, man, you got to do your job, point blank. And right now, they're not getting it done. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting it done. Uh, I see people. You know what I'm saying? I skim comments. I read them. I don't give a lot of weight to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know people are emotional. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to these teams, man, people get into their feelings, they get into their emotions. You know, Harbaugh should have been fired 8 years ago, according to most people here, right? Um, I see now people coming after uh the offensive coordinator. Who last year you didn't hear that stuff. You know, so it's always somebody got to go. You know, and somebody. I'm just talking about comments that I read. It's always number one, coach got to get fired. got to trade somebody, or something real dramatic or drastic when you lose. And with football, it's a weekly event. So you, like I say, I say this all the time. You live and die with each win. Each win, you feel like you're gonna win the Super Bowl. At every loss, you feel like the season is over. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer sending out a shout out. What's up, Glenny?
Okay, what's going
Concerned
on, Glenny?
just not playing good football. They're not playing good football at all, brother. And I told you, Glenny, I'm a 4 week guy, and this is it. We at the 4 week mark, and the Ravens are not a good football team. And I think it started at the top. It started at the top. It started with the head coach down to the coordinators and the players. You know what I'm saying? The You look at uh, Ronnie Stanley. I don't know if he's not 100%, because I know he was. I know he had a little injury situation, but he just not getting it done. And he's the high money man on the line, right? He's your highest paid lineman, that left tackle, the blind side.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's not getting it done. And neither are the other guys up front. So it's a collaborative effort, and nobody's getting it done. You know, uh, I don't know. I don't know the tenor of them offensive meetings, but just what I'm seeing on the field, it don't look good. It don't look good. And I hear, I just watched a little bit of some podcasts and some press conferences and stuff like that. I wanted to bring on because I got some sound, but I got going too late. I just got home too late, so I wasn't able to hook everything up. But Kyle Hamilton, in his remarks after the game, was apologetic, basically because and he said something that I've been saying, I know, for the last 2-3 years since we've been doing this, that Ravens fans, we spoiled. We are spoiled. You know what I'm saying? We used to the Ray Lewis's and great defenses and all that stuff. Kyle Hamilton said that, and everybody went nuts. They so he apologized for saying that. Now, was he wrong? You know what I'm saying? Was he wrong? No, he wasn't wrong. He is absolutely right. He's absolutely 100% right, man. As fans, even media, when I look at ESPN and some of these national sports, they still talking about the Ravens uh is a defensive organization, and we haven't been that in a couple of years. We haven't been known specifically for defense in a while. It's been a long time, and we kind of living with that reputation, but we haven't been that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's unfair, but it's just the nature of the business. You know what I'm saying? It's the nature of it that you're going to just live with that identity. They got a statue of Ray Lewis out front of the building. You know what I'm saying? You coming into the stadium, you greeted by one of the greatest defensive players that have ever played this game. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about uh, identity. When you go to the games, you still see 52 jerseys. You still see 20 jerseys. You still see 55s. You see, what I mean? You still see them guys represented, because they definitely had a big hand in laying the foundation for what this team was and is. Unfortunately, they not suiting up on Sundays. They not suiting up. And so we as fans, sometimes we gotta taper our expectations, and we gotta allow these guys to create their own identity. You know, And the identity of the team changed a couple years ago when Lamar Jackson came in. Because we never had an offense. We were never an offensive team, ever. So Lamar came in and gave us an offensive identity for the first time, other than we could run the football. And we've always been able to do that, you know. But just looking at what I saw Sunday, and now with these injuries, and it's a laundry list of them on both sides of the football. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, man. So I don't know what kind of changes that that can be made that will change the results. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they could do. So what did I say? By the bye week, which is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think Zach Gore's gonna make it. I think he's gonna be the first chip to fall. I think he's gonna go. And I'm saying it here now. I think Zach Orr is gonna be the first let go. He may have one more week because they haven't let him go yet. Usually, if somebody's gonna get fired, it's gonna happen right after the game, so he won't have his fingerprint in the game plan for the following week. Now unless we wake up early tomorrow morning, because most NFL teams they don't practice on Tuesdays, right? So unless we wake up tomorrow morning and he was fired overnight, I think he'll get one more week, you know, and maybe they considering all of the injuries. They maybe they taking that under consideration. But even with the injuries, the play got to get better. The play got to be better, man. You know what I'm saying? This no pressure on the quarterbacks. Not really being able to stop the run. Um, it got to get better. You know what I'm saying? And they are not a good football team. I'm saying it here now for anybody that you call me what you want. I'm a Ravens fan, but I am not unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? And as the Ravens, I've been saying the last few weeks, shit, you talking about 8-8. Well, it ain't 8-8 no more. You can't even go 500 no more with this odd number of game. It's not looking pretty. I'm gonna just say that it ain't looking pretty, and it looked like you know holiday shopping won't even be interrupted by Ravens games, and there's gonna be a lot of tickets up for sale. You know, and people already throwing jerseys away and selling what they call them, the PSLs for sale, and you know, yeah, these fans ain't waiting. They like, hey, I'm gonna cash out now.
Yeah.
I'm cashing out now. So, I seen so many people, so many comments, man, and I know it's emotional when you comment right at the game like that, and it's a tough loss. And I mean, I'm talking about people saying, man, they ain't gonna win another game. I was like, damn, not one, not one more. And they ain't gonna win another game. And you know, this is as bad as you can. Whatever the worst you can think. I was saying a whole lot of that. It just bad. So
Yeah.
I'm on the record. I don't got Zach Gore making it past the bye week. That I said Halloween a couple weeks ago, but the bye week comes first, and they ain't gonna make the bye week.
Yeah. He is clearly on the hot seat. I mean, we said he was on the hot seat last week. Well, that seat done got a lot hotter. And I mean, even Romo pointed out during the game. He said, "Look at the defense. They're confused. They don't know what's going on." And you can see the players, Wiggins and them guys saying, "What is it? Hands out? What's going on?" And right when they hiked the ball, the running back ran out of the backfield, uncovered, threw a pass to him. I think he went in for the score, and Romo was like, "They didn't have a clue. That's a busted play. That was
Yeah,
confusing."
yeah.
That's going to go back to Zach Orr. I see Zach Orr on the sideline calling plays, and he don't even have the thing over his mouth, covering his mouth. I'm like, what is he doing? Man, you know people are constantly watching.
Yeah, they watching. Yeah.
And read your lips and what you're saying. He out there calling plays without even covering his mouth. I mean, that to me, that's some ignorant. That's ignorance, man, to do something like that. You know, I read a article where it talked about or a stat that talked about the teams that have invested the most money in their offensive line last year was the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Go figure.
Go figure that. And both of those teams wound up in the Super Bowl. Then I looked at what the Ravens have done as far as the offensive line goes. Now they got Linderbaum in the first round based on the trade with what's the receiver? He played with Kansas City now.
Oh, Hollywood.
When they made that deal with Hollywood. Then Hollywood even got a touchdown against us.
Yeah, ain't that something?
That pissed me off. And the thing that make you angry, man, is when you see the other team celebrating.
Oh yeah.
You see Patrick Mahomes, man, grinning. Man, make me want to sack his ass. You know? Like, damn. But man, I agree with you, man. It looks like Zach is going to be gone. I can't see him lasting too much longer with the team out there confused and all of that stuff. I mean, it is just so many things to overcome. And when you're going through what the Ravens are going through, you certainly don't want to beat yourself. You certainly don't want to go in there and make critical errors and not know what the defense is and stuff like that. You can't have that. With this team the way it is now, you should be trying your best to play mistake-free football and not beat yourself, because we got a lot of injuries. We got a lot of guys plugging in. I mean, when you talk about the wholesale injuries, man, I don't know if I've ever seen this before on this level. I remember when they had a lot of those knee injuries or whatever it was that preseason, and a lot of them guys, Gus the Bus and those guys kind of messed their knees up or whatever it was in practice. They was blaming it on the turf. I mean, but when you talk about two of your starting corners, Wiggins and Humphrey, injured. You talk about your middle linebacker, Roquan, your top two defensive, really your top three defensive linemen, Tavis Jones and Matabike and Broderick Washington, all injured. You talk about your left guard left tackle who's protecting Lamar's back, Ronnie Stanley, injured. I guess Van Noy was probably tied with maybe the other boy with leads and sacks for the Ravens last year. He's out. I mean, this is some crazy injuries right now, and didn't even mention Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So now you talk about Lamar being out, man, with all these injuries. How in the hell are the Ravens going to win a game? Now, thank goodness they're going against Houston, because I understand they've been struggling this year. But this thing, I mean, usually, like last year, that defense was looking terrible. They made a couple of moves and tightened that thing up.
Yeah.
But this year, man, what kind of moves you going to do to tighten up the offensive line? Stanley got his ankle messed up. I'm wondering if it's the same ankle that messed him up a couple years ago. That's concerning. you look at Rosengarten, he been getting overpowered. He don't even look like the same player last year. He does not look good. Uh, what's the guy? Voorhees.
Yeah.
Who is he?
Right.
You know what I mean, man? Who is this guy, man?
Right.
And then for Lele,
Yeah. Fillet
I
of
mean,
fish.
come on. Oh man, that offensive line, man, is ridiculous, man. And the Ravens, they have not invested really in that offensive line in a long time, man. I looked at them drafts. They drafted Linderbaum in the first round. And other than that, you ain't see them. They drafted this boy last year in the third round from LSU, but he's been hurt with the shoulder injury. They need him to come back. Then we done already talked about the injuries on the D line. I mean, and even when you look at Roquan linebacker play, I mean the boy that they got from Clemson a few years ago, the linebacker 23, Trent Simpson, he
Mm-hmm.
looked like a bust. He looked like a bust. Buchanan out there, he's a rookie and he playing like a rookie.
Yeah.
He running around. I mean, even when you look at Stocks, the guy's a rookie. And I mean, I don't really hardly see him in the mix for making plays and things. He's like, his name don't get called. You
Mm-mm.
know, he not a physical player. And that's the other thing I did. Speaking of physical, that's the other thing, man. The Ravens are just not a physical team.
Mm-mm.
I mean, when you look at the defense, who's physical? Who's out there physical, man? I mean, who out there cracking heads? I mean, the most physical player out there to me is Kyle Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yeah.
I mean, other than Hamilton, I just don't see the physicality on this team. Uh, you're right when you say that they're kind of living off of reputation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that whole thing from the Ray Lewis era with the defense and the physicality. This Ravens physical defense. They haven't shown no defense being physical this year.
Mm-mm.
They've been soft this year. And you know, when it comes to softness and it comes to a team not being good and a team not playing well, man, injuries take place, man. I mean, the, all these injuries, man, is from them getting their ass beat. Where these injuries coming from, man? They getting beat down.
Getting beat.
Right, man. They're just out physical, man. I mean, how do you come back from this, man? I don't know how the Ravens come back from this. You know, Lamar goes out. Uh, Cooper didn't look good.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
He didn't look good at all. He's going to be the quarterback. They're going to have to change up a lot of things. It's a little different when, and I know he's on the practice squad now.
Snoop.
What was his name?
Snoop.
Snoop. Yeah, see, Snoop on the practice squad, and you didn't really have to change that much of the offense when you brought Snoop in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't McDonald's. He was McDowell's. You know, they say, "Oh, he looked like Lamar." You know, but yeah. So man, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I just don't know what this team is gonna do. And I think you nailed it with that text message. I think you nailed it, man. And when you talk about greatness and you talk about these tremendous athletes, I mean, injuries play a part in this
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. Michael Jordan broke his foot.
Yep.
What was that? His second year.
Second year. Yeah.
You know, he missed all them games and he came back and did his thing. But Jordan, man, was a tough player, man. But he stayed healthy. You know, and that's part of greatness. Staying healthy is part of that. If you can't stay healthy, you ain't great. We
Mm-mm.
talk about the Grant Hills and Penny Hardaways, and we know their skill level.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the greatness, if you ain't healthy, you ain't gonna make it up that ladder as far as being great. So, so man, it's so many things that that the Ravens are lacking right now. And then on top of that, again, you're hearing the thing about them being out coached, out prepared for the game. I mean, basically, man, it's across the board. It's
Yeah.
it's across the board, and even special teams is suspect. So how do you fix this? Is the
Yeah.
question, and I'm not quite sure this thing can be fixed.
Yeah. And we only 4 weeks in.
We only 4 weeks in.
I mean, it's 13 more of these things.
Phew.
And the proverbial towel is being thrown in because,
Yeah.
like you said, how do you fix it?
How do you fix this,
How,
man?
how do you fix it? Because you can't go out and make wholesale changes in personnel. Your team is pretty much a team. Is there a move or two that can be made? Is it something they can trade for that could give them a spark? I don't
Man,
know. I don't know. I
no.
don't know. I don't know what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? I know because trades in the NFL aren't like trades in basketball and baseball, where
Exactly.
I can't remember a mid-season trade in football that was kind of the trade that put a team over the hump. I can't think of one. If it
Right.
happened before, then somebody correct me, but I can't think of a trade that
Right.
happened in the middle of an NFL season where a key player went to another team and it put them over the hump. I can't think of one. So
And then, you're right. I mean, think about think about the boy from Dallas that went to Green Bay.
mhm.
Uh, it typically you have to have a really good team. You talking about 11 guys on the field at one time, and if you bring in one player, that's less than 1/10 of the team on the field, and 1/10 a lot of times ain't gonna make the change.
Mm-mm.
And again, I had some kind of internet issues. I'm not sure if you can still hear
I
me,
still hear you. I can hear you.
but I see Kenny's kind of out and he's buffering,
Yeah, I think
and we
that's on
can't
your
hear him
end.
if he's talking.
Yeah, that was on his end. He having some internet issues. I'm still here, and I agree. I don't think this is a good football team right now. I know they came into the season with a lot of expectation. They came in with a lot of expectations. Super Bowl, uh, based off of what was going on last year. I think I'm a god back. I think based off the expectation from the team that we had last year, the expectation was really high. What they did not do is they didn't go out in the off season and make a big splash. There was no big signing. Again, I'm always looking for a pass rusher. I thought that was a problem last year. I thought last year was a problem that we didn't have nobody that could go get the quarterback. Um, our set, what's up, homie? They can make some moves. They got it. They- I just don't know what move, wholesale, because it is
Wholesale.
all the way around. Kathy Jones, really bad coaching, or have our players not wanting to play. I feel like they lost their drive. Well, looks like they lost it because they didn't look
Yeah.
inspired at all to me.
No, I agree.
Sunday, this Sunday anyway. Last couple Sundays maybe, but this Sunday, you know, it just almost like yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
okay, you know. And so I gotta do a little digging, just to kind of see what's going on. Because like I said, I don't think Zach Orr gonna make it past the bye week. That's 2 weeks from today or 2 weeks from now. So I don't see him making it past the bye week. And that's gonna be the first change. You know, and again, I'm not one of them ones to say somebody can or can't coach, and you haven't heard that no whispers out of the locker room saying that you know he lost the locker room or he lost his room or whatever. I haven't heard none of that. Not to say that it ain't true, but we need to figure that part out. So it's on the coaching to have them ready to play. I mean, that's 100% right. 100% true. The coaching staff, the coaches got to do what they got to do to get the guys ready to play. But here's the flip side to that. Are the guys wanting to play? You know what I'm saying? Or are the guys that they are depending on able to do the job? And I think that all the problems start on offense and defensive lines. The skill position, Lamar, uh, Zay Flowers is all pro. When he can make stuff happen. Derrick Henry got the fumbles. Costly fumbles. You know, uh, I'm gonna tell you this too, because I think Tony Romo kind of pointed it out during the game, is that when Derrick Henry came out of the game, you almost know what the play call is going to be.
And it's
You know
at
what I'm
the end.
saying? If he come out on third down, you know that it's going to be a pass play, pretty much. I just think sometimes you got to shake it up, leave him in there for 3 downs. Let him carry it on third down. You got to do something different. You know what I'm saying? But you cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know what I'm saying? And I see my guy having some internet problems over there, but you got to shake it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it's been 2 weeks in a row with just bad losses, and 3 out of the 4 just bad, And they beat up on Cleveland, and you figure, all right, we kind of got it out of our system because the Buffalo loss was a game they was up 3 scores. They up 3 scores against Buffalo, so there's no way you feel like you're gonna lose that game. You start out good, you just didn't finish. All right, so you wet the bed a little bit in that game. You come back and you got Cleveland. You beat up on Cleveland, and then you go last week and this week. It just wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't good, man. It wasn't good. It don't look good. It don't feel good. From a fan perspective, it don't look good. It don't feel good, man. We don't want to see the team playing like this. And like I said, it's 13 more weeks. So we ain't even halfway through. We just this is the 4th week. It's 13 more weeks of this. So something has to change, right? So we know they can't go changing players wholesale. You can't just change out a whole bunch of players. It just doesn't happen in football. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nobody on the street that's good enough to come in and step in and do what we need them to do. So you kind of stuck with what you got for the most part, far as the players go. So then you look at the coaches. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the coaches at that point. The players are not. You can't change out the players, so you got to look at the coaching staff, and that's why I say Zach Orr is number 1 on the chopping block, and he's gonna be first. He's gonna be first to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the start. That's where the change got to start. The defense got to be first. Because they really haven't played well all year, with the exception of the Cleveland game. So that's what I think. It's got to start with the coaching. I agree with Ira. You know what I'm saying? The coaching got to get better. because you're not going to be able to change out the players. So the coaches got to get better. The coaches had to. What did I say after the Buffalo loss? That all should not leave the castle until next Monday. Not even
Yeah,
Sunday game. Talking about Monday after the Sunday night game, Sunday game. He got to figure it out. He got to figure it out, or he going to be at home watching the games like the rest of us,
yeah.
putting his resume on Indeed, looking for a job.
It's looking bad, man.
Yeah,
I mean, even the expression on his face is not looking good. I mean, he's not looking confident. And I agree with you 100%. If a move has to be made, it's him.
mm-hmm.
It's him. You know, this last game, our offensive coordinator did not have a good game. And, you know, even against Detroit, I don't think he had a good game. You got to really look at when you know a team is going to do something to you, they're going to have a spy on Lamar. You have to come up with something to counteract that. You got to counteract that.
Oh, Daryl Fleming, what's up? What's up, OG? Time for Harbaugh to let them guys work out more when they like Ray Lewis played.
Yeah, well, that's a pipe dream.
Whew.
A pipe dream right there, boy. Because
sometimes you wish Ray would suit up.
Yeah.
Just one time.
I don't know
Just come out the tunnel.
How old is Ray now, man? He probably can put him out there, man. Dang.
Yeah, just come out the tunnel one time. He ain't got to play. Just come out there, do the dance, do the squirrel dance, and get everybody going. And we're going back downstairs or something, man. But yeah, this is bad.
This is real bad, man. It's bad.
This is bad.
I don't know how they can come up out of this. I just don't know at this point. They definitely going to need for people to recover really quickly to get out there. You're going to have some depth, like you mentioned, next man up. Well, the next man up was going to have to really do something. But even when we had our best out there, we weren't looking good. So this is like, it's so painful because of the expectations.
Yeah.
Everybody expected this team to be a damn good team this year. Everybody expected this team to push for that Super Bowl. I mean, the thing is that we keep coming up a little bit short. A lot of people thought that this was the year. And when you got an all-world quarterback like Lamar Jackson, I mean, here we are. Here we are with Lamar Jackson. The team is 1-3. Man, we ain't never seen Lamar. Man, this don't happen with Lamar Jackson. That guy is so good, so dynamic. He's been that way with the Ravens. This is a winning franchise when you got number 8 out there.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Whether you had that previous offensive coordinator that was killing them, Greg Roman, or you have this offensive coordinator, which really Lamar has grown a lot because the guy's put a lot of confidence in him and he's come up with a much more comprehensive game that covers all of Lamar's skills, the running and the passing. So this is not looking good. And again, I don't want to say that it's over and they don't have a chance. But I mentioned last week that the way Detroit defended the Ravens, they dominated them so thoroughly in that game. Even though the score was 38-30, I likened it to Mike Tyson getting beat by Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
And once Tyson got beat by Douglas, that invincibility that he had was gone. And we never saw that Mike Tyson again. We never saw him again. You know, the Tyson we saw was biting people's ears off. doing crazy shit, putting crazy tattoos over his eyes. We never saw the Mike Tyson after the Buster Douglas beat down.
Nah, that was that.
We never saw the Roy Jones after he got knocked out. He was done.
Yep.
That Roy Jones never appeared again in life. And when you go down to knockouts or bad injuries, you have to come back with force and come back with a vengeance. When Jordan broke his foot, Jordan came back before the season was over. I think that's when he dropped the 63.
Yeah.
In the playoff against Boston. And although they got swept, he set that playoff record. And then on top of that, people forget he dropped 49 in game 1.
Yeah.
So you got to come back with a vengeance. Roy couldn't do it as great as he was. Tyson couldn't do it as great as he was. Can the Ravens come back from that beatdown that Detroit put on them? I don't know. They didn't show it this week. And again, man, when you're getting beat down, injuries and stuff happen.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's going down, man. Come on. What the hell is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. Doc say you don't know what the heck the offensive coach is doing. We got a great offense. But what is he doing? And he ain't without fault.
No.
He's not without fault. You know what I'm saying? Because again, part of coaching is adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And you see defense is doing something to you. When you sit up there in that skybox, you got a bird's eye view to see. You know what I'm saying? And they got all this technology, and you're taking pictures, and you're looking at the coverages, and you're looking at everything. You got to make an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And I know injuries play a part. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have your full arsenal, of players that cuts your rotation down. And I talk from my limited coaching experience. There's times when I look down the bench and I know we're in trouble. Because if I got to put player X in the game, it's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? And so I know we look at pro teams a little differently because we just expect next man to be up. But the reality of the situation is the next man don't always show up. You know what I'm saying? Because the next man may not have what it takes to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen people say, with respect to the injuries, I've seen people are, how the fans are. They say, "Oh man, they quit. Lamar quit on the team. He just ain't want. He tired of it. He frustrated, so he quit." I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, we say those things, but no. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, man, and this is a contact sport. Injuries do happen. You know what I'm saying? And I refuse to believe that players are quitting in week 4. You know what I'm saying? With so much on the line. Now in week 9, 10, when the season ain't going your way, yeah, players may go ahead and check out at that point, but not in week 4. It's still a lot of season left to be played. Lot that could be changed. So I don't think nobody's gonna quit. Because they lose the game in week 4. And we come on, man. We talk about this every year. I know me and you have talked about it right here on the Sports Mix. We won a Super Bowl where there was a 5-week stretch where we didn't score a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And we won a couple of them games.
All field goals.
You know what I'm saying? And we won a couple of them games.
I think we won 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 and 2.
It's not good right now. Can it get better? We hope it do. We hope it do. We hope it do.
To me,
right on point, Doc.
the injury to Lamar is huge because his it's such a drop off going to the backup quarterback. Like you say, next man up, here come Cooper. He hasn't shown us much so far, but to me, I think that the Ravens, if they had to do something to make a deal, I mean, they would at least bring in maybe an established offensive line, an offensive guy on the offensive line, because I think that the offense. Now, this I'm talking if Lamar is healthy. I think that the offense can still put up points if the offensive line is solidified a little bit. You could go out and trade and bring in a solid guy to be on that line. Maybe replace a Voorhees or a Falele, but maybe the guy that they drafted. Apparently, he's a pretty good guy. He started at LSU for a while. Maybe he can come in and solidify. He's a better athlete maybe than a Falele. But if the Ravens can score points, and they thought that they could coming into this coming into this year, and they did early, they were leading the league in points scored. Then maybe you got a shot if you can score points. That's why, in my mind, if I'm looking at the Ravens and I drafted Lamar Jackson as my franchise quarterback, I'm going to be all about that offensive line and solidifying it and making that offensive line super tough. Because I got this prize back there who not only can throw the ball, but he can run. I'm looking to make that line as potent as it can be. But again, since Lamar Jackson been the quarterback, the Ravens have not invested a lot of money in the offensive line. And I think it's that's one of the things that doesn't look too good on DaCosta. To me, he's abandoning putting in on that line. The teams that invested the most money in the offensive line were the two teams that made it to the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that says a mouthful. And maybe they can salvage this year. But again, man, Voorhees, I mean, I think he was like a 7th round pick. Rosengarten, I think they got him in the 2nd round. But the Ravens picked like 30th or something really late. So there was a lot of offensive linemen off the board before the Ravens selected him. And it ain't sexy to pick an offensive lineman real early in the draft. It's not a sexy thing, but we ain't trying to be sexy.
Mm-mm.
No, we ain't trying to be sexy. We trying to be physical. You got Lamar and Derrick Henry back there. That offensive line, man, should be legit, and it's not. So, how we gonna fix all of this stuff? In my mind, I think you try to bring in an offensive lineman to help solidify the line. Maybe maybe the guy from LSU can come in and help solidify that line. But you're going to need. I mean, Lamar Jackson will need to put up 35 points a game with the defense, and he can do it.
Yeah.
If that line is right, if that line is solid, Lamar Jackson can get you 35, 40 points every game. In my mind, and if you can score 35, 40 points, you're gonna win most games.
Well,
but shit is crazy right now, man.
Who? I put somebody else on the hot seat last week. We ain't brought his name up yet, and that's old Eric DaCosta, the orchestrator, the maestro, if you will.
Right.
So we got to start taking a look at some of the moves he making. You know what I'm saying? Some of the moves he making as far as putting the team together.
Oh yeah.
And he got to be looked at. Yeah, you're gonna look at the coaching. and the coaching got to get better. But you also got to look at who's bringing these players in here, who put the team together. You know what I'm saying? And he cannot be without fault. You know,
Absolutely.
again, you got to put a your preference. You have to offensive defensive line have to take precedent, especially in this era of football. You got to protect the quarterback, and you got to be able to get after the other team's quarterback with defensive line pressure, not with all these exotic blitz schemes. The exotic blitz scheme should be secondary to your pass rush up front. That should be the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? When we able to come get you from whatever angle. You so occupied with the lineman coming to get you that you didn't even notice the safety came and you know what I'm saying? That's the luxury you have when you got a good defensive line. When you got good push up front, then you can be a little exotic. You can send the safeties. You can send the linebacker. You know, you can send a corner on a corner rush, corner blitz. You can do those things, but without a legit pass rush, all that stuff become gimmicky, and then you get beat somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? You starting to get beat in other areas because the quarterback he ain't even concerned about the guys up front. And more times than not, somebody coming from the end ain't gonna be quick enough. If you got a legit quarterback, he gonna smell it out and he gonna get rid of the football. You know what I mean? He not even gonna wait. So, in
Man.
my opinion, is that the offense and defensive lines got to get better. But I mean, we talk about coaching. Eric DeCosta got to be better too,
He has to be, man.
and how he puts these teams together. You know what I'm saying? And there was a big push. They've been talking about Eric DeCosta pretty much since the beginning, as he's going to be the next man up when Ozzie Newsome had the job, and then it got to a point where they basically forced Ozzie Newsome out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because DeCosta was getting opportunities to go somewhere else, and the ownership felt like we needed to keep Eric DeCosta in house to kind of keep the continuity, but he wasn't going to stay without the title and the salary to come with that title. Well, he could have went somewhere else and built his own program. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, Ozzie Newsome wasn't going to be around forever. We know that. We knew Ozzie wasn't going to be around forever. But Eric DeCosta's been in the head seat for what, 7 years?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 7.
If this Lamar's 8th year, that
Right.
means this is his 7th year because Ozzie Newsome drafted Lamar Jackson.
Right.
That was his last draft.
Yep.
So DeCosta has been in the hot seat. And again, part of being that general manager, being in that seat, man, is not only drafting players, but how you work the free agent market. How you build your depth of your team. How you get those backup players and with guys that come in that spell the starters where you're not losing a lot. You know what I'm saying? And we got to look at that. We got to look at that right now because now with all these injuries, who's stepping up to play? And how big is the fall off when these
Yeah.
guys that are out? How big is the fall off? So DeCosta, his seat got to be a little warm too. He got to be feeling the heat
I agree.
because he put the team. Puts the team together. I don't know how much input Harbaugh as a head coach have. I know head coaches have some say in personnel. I don't know how much leeway he have or how much say he have in what personnel they go after. But his seat is hot. Now I don't think the Ravens will fire Harbaugh
no.
until the end of the season,
Right.
or if it just gets so bad that they know that the season is not going to end well, he'd probably get fired at that point.
Right.
But if they continue to win a few games here and there and they kind of still in it, he'll be around till the end. You know, I don't see Steve Bisciotti as a guy that will make a move like that in the middle of the season, unless it just got bad. This got this ugly. You know, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. You know, we got a couple weeks here.
Yeah.
Saying Lamar Jackson may be out 2 to 3 weeks. The good thing is 2 weeks, and then you got the bye week. So
Yeah.
that'll be the third week there, the bye week. So if he had to be out, you know, this time of year, I guess is the best time to be out. You got the bye. And hope it don't turn into a something major, the injury, you know, don't turn into a major injury or something like that. Um, but yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad right now, man. It's not a
Yeah.
whole lot more I can say about it. It's just ugly, you know. And yeah, it was tough to watch Sunday. It was tough to watch, man. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're making a good point with DaCosta, you know, because I was questioning his drafts, and if you look at Lamar Jackson coming in 2018, you know, they did draft Hayden Hurst first
Mm-hmm.
in that first round as a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Then they came back with Lamar Jackson in the first round with the
Mm-hmm.
32nd pick. Now Ozzie then got Zeus Jr.
Yeah.
in the third round. Okay. Then he brought in Mark Andrews, also in the third round. Then he had Anthony Averett, then Kenny Young, Jaleel Scott, Jordan Lacey. He's a wide receiver. Deshaun Elliott, Greg Sonat, Bradley Bozeman in round 6, and Zach Sealer in round 7. So he got some, you know, when you talk about Lamar, Orlando Brown, Mark Andrews, Deshaun Elliott, Bradley Bozeman, he got some talent out of that draft.
Yeah.
And you got a quarterback who came in, I don't know what Lamar came in the middle of the season and won like 8 in a row or something like that, or 7-1 or something when he played.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you recognize that you had a special talent. He proved it in his first year. So now the transition from to Eric DaCosta, although we still see Ozzie around. I see him in the draft room. I see him around, so he still has some input on the team. But it's clearly DaCosta's show. Now you got Lamar, so here you come in 2019, and with your first pick, the 25th pick overall, you get Marquise Brown, Hollywood. You know that was a draft. That was a draft where you had the big boy that's in Pittsburgh now. What's the receiver they got from Seattle? Metcalf. Is his name Metcalf?
Yeah, DJ Metcalf.
DJ Metcalf. He was in that draft. We picked Marquise Brown before Metcalf. The boy that played for Tennessee that's with the Eagles now.
Brown.
AJ Brown. He was in that draft. We picked Marquise before AJ Brown. And there was another dude out there too. So I was not too happy with him picking Marquise Brown. The guy can't even get off the line that well. You really got to send him in motion so that he not, because you can get up on him and just out physical him at the line and he can't get off the line. So you send him in motion, so you can't do that to him. Then they picked Jalen Ferguson. They didn't have a second round pick. Jalen Ferguson, a defensive end. I don't know no noise that he made. Then they picked Miles Boykin, also in the third round, wide receiver, Notre Dame. He never really did much. Then they got Justice Hill, round 4, Ben Powers, Iman Marshall, Dalen Mack, Tracy McSorley. That was not a good draft.
Mm-mm.
That was not a good draft at all. I mean, that was a big miss, man. And Justice Hill took a while to develop.
Yeah, he surely did, because I wasn't a fan of his.
I wasn't a fan of his at all. He took like 3 years to develop.
Yep.
You know, so to me, looking at that draft, that's a total bust, man. Okay, you got Marquise Brown. He did a little something, but I that draft. Okay, let's go to next year. Okay, he was bumping. Let's see what he did on this year, 2020. He brought in Patrick Queen, round 1, J.K. Dobbins, round 2, Justin Matabike, round 3, Devin Duvernay, round 3, Malik Harrison, round 3, Tyree Phillips, who was a tackle, Mississippi State, round 3, Bren Bredeson, round 4, a guard from Michigan, Broderick Washington, round 5, James Prochet, and Geno Stone, a safety. So Queen, Dobbins, Matabike, Duvernay, Malik Harris, and Broderick Washington, Geno Stone. I would say that was a decent draft.
Yeah.
But if you notice, ain't no offensive lineman.
Nope.
He ain't drafting no offensive lineman. We looking at these drafts. He ain't invested in no offensive lineman. Ben Powers was in the 4th round last year, 2019. This year, Tyree Phillips, a 3rd round pick. I don't remember him making any noise. Do you know who Tyree Phillips is? Was he 2019? I don't.
I remember the name.
Yeah.
I just remember the name. I don't even what position was it?
They say he was a tackle, Mississippi State, round 3.
Yeah, I remember the name, but he ain't around still though.
He ain't around.
That say a lot right there.
That say a lot right there. Then he come back 2021, Rashad Bateman, Oway, Ben Cleveland. That's an offensive lineman, Ben Cleveland, Brandon Stevens, Tylen Wallace, Sean Wade, Dalen Hayes, and Ben Mason. Again, you got an offensive lineman, Ben Cleveland, in the 3rd round. I don't think Ben Cleveland been making no noise. He's still a bench warmer, right?
Yep.
2022, Kyle Hamilton, Linderbaum. Boy, they got this mixed up. But Linderbaum, okay, 1st round. Now Linderbaum is legit. Even though I've seen him get tossed around a little bit this year.
Yeah.
More than, yeah. So Hamilton, Linderbaum, Ajabo, Travis Jones, Falele. Then they got Falele in the 4th round. Armour Davis, Charlie Kohler, Jordan Stout, Isaiah Likely, Demarion Williams, Tyler Beatty. But they're not investing in offensive linemen. 2023, Zay Flowers, Trent Simpson, Tavius Robinson, Caillou Blue Kelly, Malasala Lalu, Andrews Voorhees, round 7. He was picked 229. That's your starting guard right now. Voorhees, the 229th pick in the draft, protecting Lamar Jackson, the great Lamar Jackson. You got a 7th round pick, the 229th pick that's protecting Lamar Jackson. Man, that's crazy. That's insane to me. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah. So, Eric DeCosta, you got some explaining to do, buddy.
You got some explaining to do.
You got some explaining to do, man. And like I say, he can't be without fault.
Can't be.
He can't be without fault. Yeah, I get it. Harbaugh and Zach Orr and even the offensive coordinator. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
But you only as good as a coach. You only as good as the players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a saying: you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Now I ain't saying that the players are that bad, but they ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? And mainly I'm talking about the interior.
Yeah.
On both sides of the football. The offensive and defensive lines leave a lot to be desired. And when you look at the drafts over the last 6 to 7 years, there is nobody of impact on either side of the ball on those lines that was drafted.
Right.
Not one.
Right.
Not one impact player.
Right.
On the offensive or defensive line in the last 6 to 7 years. Not one.
Right.
I mean, Rosengard. But like you said, he get tossed around. He not dominate.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's starting. He's a player, but he's not making a hell of an impact like you need him to be.
No, not at all.
You know, Zay Flowers is worth the price of admission.
Absolutely.
He making plays, and he's staying on the field.
Right.
You know, he's staying on the field. He been healthy pretty much the whole time he been here. Isaiah Likely, you know, he getting it back. He just came back last Sunday, but he has shown he's a guy that can make plays. So when damn the other what's the other tight end? 89. Mark
Andrew.
Andrews. When Andrews' days are numbered, his replacement is already in the building.
Yeah.
Likely is in the building. Now that's a position the Ravens have always seen to draft well. And I would think having a Hall of Fame tight end as one of the ones that's looking at the groceries, as they say.
Oh yeah.
He know a Hall of Fame or All Pro tight end when he see one.
Isaac can get you a tight end.
Yeah, and we have never not had decent tight ends since the beginning.
Always had them.
I mean, you talking about from even when they first got here, Eric Green, and then you know you bring in Shannon Sharp.
Oh yeah.
Todd Heap.
He.
You know Dennis Pitta.
Pitta was tough.
Pitta was tough. You know he had the injury thing with the hip.
Yeah.
You know, but Pitta was tough.
They even had that boy Waller.
That's right, Darren Waller.
Waller.
Darren Waller. So you know the Ravens definitely have always picked good tight ends.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So and for the longest time we couldn't pick wide receivers.
Right.
I like Bateman. I like Bateman and Zay Flowers.
Right.
You know, and then they've been able to supplement those guys. You know, this year they bring in Hopkins. That's a good pickup.
Right.
That's a good pickup. But again, the interior has to play better. The interior line on both sides of the football have to be better. And
you're right. You're right.
If it don't improve, you know, those are things that have people on the unemployment line. You know what I'm saying? So again, Zach Orr, I'm giving him till the bye week, which is 2 weeks. I'm giving him 2 weeks.
Good, man.
I don't think he's gonna make it. He's gonna be the first domino to fall.
He might. I mean, these injuries might even help him a little bit. It sounds crazy, but you know, he couldn't do it with the starters in there. So he can say, you know, Wiggins out, Humphreys out, Roquan's out, Travis Jones out, you know, Van Noy out. I mean, how am I supposed to win with all these guys out? You can bring in Buddy Ryan or I don't know, what's the boy that was coaching the Ravens back in the day that went to Cincinnati for here? Marvin Lewis. You can bring him in, man. With all these guys out, you can say them guys can't win, but this is bad, man. The Ravens are in bad shape right now, and I'm a man that believes that if you have an all-world offensive line, I would take you can take an all-world offensive line and have. Look at the Ravens. They got Zay Flowers and Hopkins and Rashad Bateman and class tight ends and world class running back and Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, but with a poor offensive line, them guys weren't doing anything. They couldn't even really do what they needed to do. But if you had a strong offensive line, you can have less than world class receivers and even maybe a B quarterback. But if you got that offensive line, man, I'm telling you, you look at Tom Brady. he the greatest. They say he the greatest quarterback ever, but he didn't have some of the greatest offensive line that protected him.
Yep.
When he left New England, he looked throughout the league who needed a quarterback, and he handpicked Tampa because Tampa had a stellar offensive line that protected him, and he was able to do his thing. The Ravens have not invested in that offensive line. They haven't invested, man, and it's a shame because when you have somebody like a Lamar Jackson, man, I'm spending some money to make sure that dude is well protected.
Yeah. And
That's
Lamar,
Eric DeCosta.
yeah, Eric, yeah. What's up, Eric? So Lamar, they say his salary escalate this coming season for the next 2 seasons, 75 million each year.
Shit,
So
I
he
ain't
got to restructure.
right.
He got to restructure the deal
He will.
in order to get some help,
Yeah, he will.
you know. But I'm sure if he is smart about it, he will leverage that and say, all right, what are y'all gonna do? You
Right.
want me to restructure this deal? What are you going to do to help me? You know what I'm saying? And again, a lot of fans don't like it when your star players go under that kind of control. But sometimes that's when you the star player, when you the guy, the people that's selling the tickets. Hey, you got to do that. You got to go in there with your chest out and say, listen, I need some guys up front to protect me and to keep these people up off me so we can win some games. Remember a couple, not even a couple, back in the day, 52 was he was having a 52 like year, but it wasn't 52 of like 2000, 2001, right? And he said in the off season, y'all need to get some big boys in here to keep them linemen up off me so I can do my thing. And in that draft, that very next year, Ozzie Newsome selected Haloti Ngata with the first pick the Ravens had in that draft.
Yeah.
And problem was solved. Problem was solved. And I remember it was some media people saying that was a bad pick. Haloti was he took plays off in college and he was this and that. And Ray Lewis kind of, he punked the team in the drafting, because he need help. He not as great as they say because he crying for help. Yeah, that's what you do when you were that guy on the team. You know what I'm saying? You are that guy. I'm sure Tom Brady in New England had some say so in some of the things that happened.
Absolutely.
Getting Randy Moss up there. Some of the weapons he had, because a lot of times he had receivers that wasn't even, he just had a bunch of throw togethers. So,
Right.
but let's just say what it is. Coaching got to be better the next couple of weeks. We don't know who's going to play. Look like Lamar might be out for a couple of weeks. So you're going to have the backup in at quarterback. You're talking about Humphrey might be out. You're talking about your tackle might be out. Your left tackle might be out. Wiggins. So there's a lot of it's just not looking good. Roquan Smith might be out.
Right.
Humphrey is doubtful. Ronnie Stanley is questionable. Nate Wiggins is questionable. Let me see. Travis Jones questionable. Pat Ricard, who haven't played, has he played at all this year?
I don't recall seeing him.
I think he's been out all year. Which
Right.
again, he's a big part of what they do.
Yeah.
He's a big part of what they do. So sometimes, man, when you missing pieces, it's hard to replace their production. So you can have the greatest coach in the world, but you gotta know the personnel and you gotta coach to the personnel that's on the field. You know what I'm saying? So you can't expect to put somebody in at Pat Ricard's position and expect him to do what Pat Ricard do. It just don't work like that.
Agreed.
So with that being said, you know, go ahead and wrap this puppy up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, my brother. You've had a quite long day.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
for those that don't know, you know, my man is still at work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, he's still in the office there.
You see the background a little different today.
You know, I mean, you talk about dedication. You know, man been at work since 8 o'clock this morning. You know, and let me throw this in. This is his last day.
Well,
The brother is hanging it up. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's that dedication to the state of Maryland. He's staying at work. It's this 11. It's ready to be tomorrow, and they
yeah.
ain't paying you no overtime.
No, I don't get overtime. Get overtime. I get overtime.
Yeah, man. So
But yeah.
I know you wrapping it up out there.
Yeah.
So
Finishing
let you.
things up.
But I appreciate you for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I know it was hard to come on
Well,
after the performance you watched Sunday.
and if I didn't come on, people would have been saying, hey, where he at this week? Oh, conveniently, he didn't make it this week. So, like you say, man, we not running.
No, we ain't running.
Nah, we
We ain't
understand
running.
what's going on.
So just a heads up. I said it
Right.
early on. I will not be here next week. I'm out of town. So win, lose, or draw, I might have to do a video from where I'm at
Right.
and just post it. You know, but I ain't. We're not gonna have a live show next week. So don't be talking about. Oh, look, see, he's scared. He ain't want to come on. They didn't lost. We ain't thinking they're gonna lose anyway.
Nah.
But I will not be here next week. Be out of town. So, but I'll be watching. I'm gonna try to make sure I watch the game Sunday. I hope it's on where I'm gonna be at. Hope I get to watch and see, and hope the result is not as bad as it's been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
'Cause 1-3 at the 4 weeks, and this was a possibility looking at the schedule. It wasn't gonna be easy, even if they were at full strength. It wasn't gonna be an easy 4 out because these first 4 games was tough.
Was tough anyway. We knew that.
Yeah, yeah. So it was gonna be a tough stretch anyway. But I just say, hang in there. It's 13 more left.
Yeah.
13 more weeks left in this season.
Right.
So we got an opportunity we ain't out the playoffs yet.
No, it ain't over.
Ain't over yet. I do want to give the Cowboys a shout out. That game Sunday night, I don't know if you got an opportunity to see that. That might be one of the best games I've seen in a long time. Just from an entertainment standpoint. Ended up in a 40-40 tie. Dallas and Green Bay, man. It was just, I don't know how many lead changes that was. I mean, it was just back and forth the whole game.
It did end in a tie?
Yeah, ended in a tie, yep.
Wow.
At the last second. Because Green Bay, they got the ball in the red zone with I want to say 8, 9 seconds. I mean, it was, and they ran a play, and it was an incomplete pass with 1 second left. And it almost, what I'm saying? So if the play stretched out 1 more second, they lose the game.
Dang.
But
They cut
with
it
1
close.
second left, they got a field goal attempt and was able to
Wow.
tie it up
Wow.
with 1 second left on the clock. But even who called the Sunday night game? Chris Collinsworth for them, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying that that was a risky play call to run the extra play with the time going down like it was. So they was able to
How many
had
yards
1
they
second
gained
left on
with
the
that play?
clock. Say again.
How many yards they gained with that play?
That was incomplete.
It was incomplete. Dang.
Incomplete pass. Yeah, it was incomplete pass with 1 second left.
How long was the field goal?
It might have been 35, 40 yards.
Man, they did that. That was risky.
Yeah, risky as hell. Yeah, that was a big
Man.
risk. And if they would have lost that one, they'd have talked about that one.
Oh yeah.
They'd have talked about that one. That would have been a poor
Wow.
coaching decision, and on the quarterback too.
Wow.
You know, just because even lead up to that, he didn't really look like he had that. You know, all right, we got to go.
Right. That urgency
He
one.
didn't have that urgency. It didn't look like. You know, but yeah, they was able to eke it out and get the tie. With it's like say it was like 1 second left on the clock after they ran that last play.
How the linebacker do?
You ain't really hear his name too much.
Yeah.
You didn't really hear his name too much.
Right.
Yeah, so it was much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
You know, Jerry Jones was happy. He happy he didn't lose that motherfucker. They'd have lost, boy. He'd have never heard the end of that.
Yeah, I was watching that game, man. That was a late night game?
That was the Sunday night game.
Yeah, I was watching that, man. I think I fell asleep on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I never knew it was a 40-40 tie. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yep, ended in a 40-40 tie.
I haven't seen the tie in a long time in the NFL.
Nah, nope.
Been a while.
It was a good game too. Real good game though.
Yeah.
And it was and it went to overtime, if I ain't mistaken.
Okay.
It ended up 40-40 in overtime.
Mm.
Yep.
Wow.
So let's see what happened this week. Ravens fans, let's see what happened. Let's see what we do. See if we can get back on the right side of a victory.
Right.
And
well, the good thing is that since the Ravens ain't playing well and they're getting all beat up, we can still lean on the Orioles because the Orioles are in the play. Oh, wait a minute. Damn. They didn't make the playoffs either, did they? Oh, god damn. Damn.
They watching the sports mix.
What's happening to Baltimore sports, man? We was hot.
Man. Yeah.
We was hot a couple
right
years
now.
ago. The Orioles was balling. The Ravens was balling. And
it's the governor's fault.
Looking rough. It's the governor's fault.
What's his name? Wes Moore.
Wes. Blame it on Wes.
Wes Moore. You know, he taxing the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon Scott. It's Brandon's fault.
Yeah, blame it on Brandon. We gotta blame somebody.
You blame somebody.
Yeah, we gotta blame somebody, man.
I ain't gonna blame it on Trump.
Well, yeah, we gonna leave him out of the equation. Yeah, we gonna leave him out of the equation. Totally out of the equation.
Yeah, leave him on out of there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it on up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm laughing on up. Look, I'm laughing it up. Laughing it up and shit. You know, I play with some of these gadgets.
Gotta laugh things out sometime, man.
Yeah, you gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
You know, so until I guess be about 2 weeks before I'll be back.
Right.
Be back live. You know, but y'all need to subscribe to the Sports Mix on YouTube and follow us the Facebook page and Instagram and TikTok, you know, all over the place. Sports Mix Podcast, you know, all over the place. Check me out. Show me some love. Hit them subscribes. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. You know, we here. You know, we talking football during the season. But you know, we talk all sports. We talk it all. So any parting words on you know, because you know, you mean you freshly, you know, retired and everything.
I don't have no words, man. I mean, man, I mean, this is really disappointing.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up hope. I'm not throwing in the towel. But I am paying attention to see if we are going through the Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas syndrome, Roy Jones syndrome. I'm looking to see if we're going through that, because right now it appears that it's that way.
Mm.
So, but I have faith in number 8. But if number 8 ain't on the field, what good is it having faith in number 8? And right now, it looks like he's not going to be on the field.
Yeah.
And they say 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess we are a little lucky that the bye is involved.
Yeah.
So that means 2 or 3 weeks means he can miss 2 games.
Yeah.
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 So Houston and the Rams.
Well, he ain't no Cal Ripken, I can tell you that.
No,
This number 8 ain't like that number 8.
no, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other number 8 ain't had 350-pound dudes running at him on every play.
Yeah. You got a point there.
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
That's it. Yep.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's do it again in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Keep hope alive. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Stay away from the Key Bridge.
Yes.
It ain't much of it left now.
Oh man, they begging the governor and Brandon to get that bridge up because they want to jump. They go down there and they see no bridge down there.
Yeah. All right.
It's a wrap.
Peace.